what's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Weigh podcast on an Easter Monday. I'm joined by my co-host Sugar Ray. How you doing, man?
Listen, man, what's good, people? Live from Accra, Ghana. You see us living out. You see the shirt, man. This is
I was gonna say, talk about the new settings. Talk about the new
late night settings and that. Hold on, let me just give a. We're at the household right now, but you see, you got tropical outside, so it's inside. Little switch up of the scene, little switch up, So,
right.
But I heard the UK had sunny weather though. Tell me, what's been going on? Whoa.
See, if I was to take my little laptop outside, you're not gonna get palm trees and stuff like that. You're just gonna get garden. But we've got sunlight. We have sunlight, so that's all we ask for. We don't ask for much. We just ask for a bit of sunlight.
That's a win. That's a win. That's a win.
We're that badly strived that a bit of sunlight is a win for us.
That's a win, man. That's a win, man.
Yeah. But switching up, like you said, we are here to talk about the weekend's action and obviously the headline fight in Errol Spence with Ugas for in the welterweight division. 3 out of the 4 belts were on the line. Errol Spence, sensational. Just gonna put that word out there. A sensational performance beating Ugas. I want to break down the fight a little bit. I called him, like, we've got Dylan White known as the body snatcher. I've got Errol Spence known as the eye snatcher. I don't know what it is.
Cool.
I don't know what it is, but he has a thing for taking people's eyes right now. But I want to break down the fight itself, and I want to ask your opinion. What did you see of Errol Spence in this particular fight that stood out to you a bit?
Listen, man down, Strazen, big fish, all the other Errol Spence monikers, throw it in, because that's what he proved on Saturday. I was watching it in a bar in Ghana, and man, it was like he chose to go in for war that he didn't even need to go in, just to prove to people that, listen, I am the top guy. And the pressure fighting he put on Ugas was just amazing. Credit to Ugas though, because maybe the commentators didn't say it as much, but Ugas put a strong showing of himself, especially the first round. Errol Spence threw more, but Ugas actually landed more, even though he threw less as well. He was very efficient, but that's his style. He has a high guard, and he just likes to stay in the pocket, and then boom, boom, boom. Infighting is his thing, and then he'll just look to counter you. So I think Ugas put a good showing in himself. I think it did take Errol a while to figure him out, because I think Errol tried to pressure him, but Ugas himself, I remember we were saying in the group chat, that is a big welterweight. That is not a small boy, and that is ironic because Errol Spence is also known as a big welterweight. So Ugas, he stood his ground. He was countering Errol very well. He caught Errol very well as well. That's what people don't give Ugas credit for, because of how the fight ended. It's like Ugas showed that he deserves to be at that top level. But as the fight went on, it was just like Errol Spence just persisted with this intense pressure. And like I said in the group chat, what the Americans say when they say he's got that dog in him, Errol Spence has that dog in him. Even though he had that, the mishap with the gum shield. And at first, I just thought he was like, he just got caught. Yeah. But then obviously the replay showed that his he did get caught, but he didn't get wobbled. His gum shield got punched out. And then he even said it himself, it was a lapse of concentration where he looked at his gum shield when he shouldn't have. He should have been concentrating on a fight. And then Ugas done the right thing. He gave him a 2-piece real quick. And, Errol stumbled back. Obviously, in real time, we're like, oh, crap, what's happened? But when you watch the replay, you kind of see, it's almost like Errol had to get punched into attention because of what happened. But he bounced off the rope. He took a loss that round. He came back and got it back in blood. And he went on to, I believe, from round 7, Ugas confirmed he had a broken orbital. So, I mean, what a warrior, because that guy was willing to die on his shoulder in there. And a lot of people had complaints about the refs, which was understandable, but he made the right decision near the end of is it 9th or 10th round?
I think it was I want to say it was the 9th as well, yeah.
Yeah, and just what was it, 10th or, either way, in the later rounds, the ref, the match was going on. Late in the round, the ref just said, you know what, no, come here. And he got the doctor to stop him for his own good. And thankfully, because Ugas already showed he's a warrior, so there's no need for you to go out there and damage your long-term health because of that.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but this injury that Ugas suffered, is that not similar to what Kell Brook had?
I believe so.
I believe so. It was the same one. But with the actual fight itself, one thing that impressed me was how much Spence, like I said, had the dog, and he was fighting up close. He was controlling the jab, but also the hook, the right hook. It was constantly landing.
Yeah.
And stuff. I guess for me now, when you look at Errol Spence in this particular environment, has there been an evolution of Errol Spence since he's come back, or have we just seen Errol Spence grow as a fighter just naturally?
I think he's refined himself. I think a lot of like the promo that's been happening, a lot of the shows, and also the side note, because we spoke about this before. I spoke about this with Andy, our producer. Showtime, when it comes to promos, are back just like Spence in that fight when he got knocked back by Ugas. Ironically, I just had a technical knockback, but I'm back with it. Call me big fish in a crowd. Where was I? No, I was saying about one thing I'll give to Showtime when it comes to promos. Excellent. Excellent access videos to seeing the media rounds that Spence is doing, even Ugas as well. Promo stuff is like when you speak top tier promotion, that is what about with PBC and Showtime, cough cough, BT Sport, Top Rank, Queensbury. No shade, just saying. But what was I saying before? Regarding he's just had a big evolution as a person. I think he's been speaking about that in his promo run. Just ever since the crash, it's been a big thing of his to like just reevaluate life. I think he's bought a farm now. He don't live in a city. He even spoke about. I'm sure he's got some jewelry left to be flashy when he needs to, but I think he was speaking about how gone past the phase of just like living a certain lifestyle. I think he was even joking purchases that he had at the time. He thought that he was going to be the big guy, and how when he got the purchases, I think he was like he enjoyed it for a week, and then thankfully his jeweler allowed him to take 2 weeks because it was just like, I don't need this. So with Spence, I think you just have a more than you have a refined person, and this is a guy that was just going out there determined to get back in blood. For the last time, I think he said in the Garcia fight, poor shape. And you know, his thing is like, listen, I do not up fights. We go right back into the deep end. Big fish for a reason. So credit to Spence, because that type of pressure, you got to have to, because Ugas put up quite the fight. Ugas was catching him with heavy shots as well. A lot of people were complaining about Ugas maybe not pressuring him after, but mid things I've seen of Ugas and from other comments of people that seen Ugas fight, they'll tell you he's a very fighter, so he's very risk averse. So it matched up. Yeah, chance, but listen, man, it's easier for us to say it whilst we're watching third person point of view. In there, Errol's got poker face, and Big Fish came strap season, 3 of the 4 belts.
I was going to say just one or two things on what you said, the promotion side of things. I think whenever I see Showtime, I know that the promotion is going to be good. I also kind of know what I'm going to expect. I know I'm going to get 2 all-access videos. I know that already. I know I'm going to get at least 40 to 45 minutes of good, genuine, good storytelling in 2 episodes. And then obviously post-fight as well, which is one thing I'd say. When they do the epilogue thing, it just comes out a bit too late sometimes for me. I'm like, just give it to me 2 or 3 days after the fight. Sometimes it takes a bit. They also bring out what I call like the top tier pundits. Like for me, having a Sean Porter there, a Danny Garcia, stuff like that, it just adds a little bit more value than, no disrespect to like a Carl Froch. Also, I don't know why, it just gives it. But also, I think like this is just the thing with America in general. Whether it's a small event or a big event, you won't know the difference because they will be able to create hype.
They make it spectacular.
But
I think building quickly on your point on Froch, I think the reason why Porter was a is that Porter, one, being an experienced professional as he is, but for someone as accomplished, he's okay with humbling himself and speaking honestly. What makes Porter so palatable for everyone, because it's just like, this is an extremely accomplished person. He's okay with speaking with, like, I saw him in pre-fight analysis speaking about where his downfall was, and a lot of boxers, they're not going to do, a lot of aren't going to do that because they feel like it might hurt their brand, they might feel less than. But I think with Porter, really content with what he done with his career, so it's easier to do that. And I think that is, in terms of boxing, recent years, one of the best transitions of professional boxer to media personality that I've seen in a long time with Sean Porter. That can learn from him. I think, do you know what? I'll give credit to Tony Bellew as well. I feel like Tony Bellew's another, especially when it was coming up to the Usyk versus Joshua fight, he was another person that was telling people I was past it, but listen, give Usyk his just due. And so you made that point, so I definitely wanted to add that in.
No, you're right though. Like, there is something, when I see that, I'm like, I want to watch this. Like, I'm happy to do this, but I am gonna now move on to what happened post fight, the call out. I think the thing we all expected, Crawford, Spence, it has to happen surely, right? It has
to. I think at this point, listen, late 2022 or early 20, it all depends on whether PBC want to give Crawford, or if Crawford signs to PBC, which at this point is just like, two, whether Crawford likes it or not, this is the harsh reality of it. Spence is there. So 60-40 would be fair, I would say, but I can't comment on another match. So that's up to Crawford to, negotiate what he can to get him a better deal. And I feel like it'll be interesting to see, like I mentioned, does Crawford take not a warm-up fight, but a showcase fight, I'd call it. A showcase welterweight. So they've got Keith Thurman on their books. They got Danny Garcia on their books as well. Established names in the boxing welterweight scene. So these might be good names to let the crowd know, to get people more pumped up, just to say, listen, but we need to commercially make Crawford a bigger person than what he is. Here at Top Rank, when Bob Arum was just like, oh, Crawford's not a draw. Maybe because of the damaged relationship between, I'm also presuming that Crawford didn't want to, pull his weight in terms of promotion, because if my promoter don't like me anyway, what's the point in me trying to and run my contract down? So it'll be interesting to see. Now, this is one of the few times where both fighters have just said it. Let's make this, stop the promotional BS. You're a free agent now. Let's make this fight happen. Spence 4 belts. I'm still leaning towards Crawford, but man, I'm looking forward to it.
See, I'm Spence. I'm Team Spence when it comes to this. But one thing we can definitely say, we can call it strap season this year. Like, it is
strap
on.
season.
It is on. One thing I'm going to say on this, though, before we actually move domestically into the welterweight division is, we've got Spence. Spence is signed. We know he's secure. Crawford is a free agent, but then he doesn't make the move towards PBC to make it easier to make the fight. Isn't it more on him who looks like the bad guy in terms of avoiding Errol Spence, even though he's coming out and saying it then? Because you have the luxury to make the decision. Spence doesn't at this moment. So isn't the onus more on Crawford to be like, right, I need to come to you a little bit now?
Oh, Crawford, because there's literally no other promotion that's going to make this fight. Eddie Hearn was saying, like, I would have loved to sign Crawford, but at this point, what you want? He was just credit to him. He just said, listen, Top Rank couldn't do it because Matchroom only have so many welterweights for him. And it's like, your main welterweight signed for PBC. And listen, I'm sure Uncle Al can take care of, from what I've seen with a lot of PBC fighters, Al Heyman takes care of them. Obviously, interest because you had Errol Spence first, but at the same time, it's also business. So hope can just take care of Crawford, let him sign, I don't know, a 3-fight deal. Crawford is also moving up, so there's the potential to fight Jamel, sorry, not Jamal, a 154 if Crawford was to win Undisputed. I've been having some tension. Jamal's also fighting for the Undisputed welterweight, sorry, light middleweight / super welterweight belt coming up, I believe, next 2 months.
Yeah, I think he might be in May or June as well. Yeah, but
yeah, listen, PBC, as much stick as PBC has got in the past, PBC are putting on a lot of late. So, and they got a lot of future good welterweights on their books as well. Well, Showtime, not PBC, shall I say?
Yeah. Right, staying in the welterweights, but bringing it home domestically. Conor Benn on the weekend, sensational performance, second round knockout, and I guess post-fight was probably more talked about than the actual fight. And I say this because there was no need to bring him in, but they brought him in. Amir Khan came into the ring. Again, I don't understand the booze, but it is what it is. And there was kind of the thing of Conor Benn saying money talks to make the fight. Now, this is the first time I can say is that Khan reluctantly didn't want to say he doesn't want the fight because it's not healthy for him to take that particular fight. And Conor Benn wants it because it's a name on his particular resume. But I guess if I'm Matchroom and stuff, one, do I try to push this particular fight or do I try to get a more level opponent to showcase Conor Benn's ability, if that makes sense? Do I take the big money or do I take a more, not seasoned, but an active fighter who can probably give a bit more damage to Conor Benn?
Listen, let me tell you something. Rough as it was to see them boo Amir Khan, as rude as I thought it was for someone so accomplished, the landscape of that fight. We don't want to see it. Amir Khan prospects at this point of career. Amir Khan should be getting, one, many people think even Amir Khan should be retired. And two, Amir Khan should mainly be focused on money fights and go. And we also thought the Kell Brook fight was that.
Yeah.
Like, listen, if you do want to stay for 1 or 2 more, get your big money fights in Dubai or get it with another, seasoned pro that might not be at the top, no bringing money, and go out that way. I don't want to see Amir Khan face a prospect like. However, with Conor Benn now, it's like you're also past the point of facing, let's call them weathered veterans. Now it's like you are now at a point where you have to fight other prospects or title challengers. Obviously, the mountain peak right now is gridlocked by Spence and Crawford. So now, for why has his name just left me? Conor Benn, you got the Virgil Ortiz of the world. You've got the who's also a Matchroom / Golden Boy. Well, he's with the Zone, we'll put it like that. You have a Venetian, and at this point, I know a lot of people are sick and tired of hearing. Like Ben versus Avenesian. Never make that fight. Especially, I'm sure Frank might not want to work with Matt. Avenesian's not looking pretty on his books right now, so that might be the fight to make. Furman's, Danny Garcia's, the Adrian Broner's as well, and I know Broner's been looking to, so that actually might be the fight for Ben.
I was going to
that
say
actually might.
I know we're talking domestically, but to bring the name, like Khan kind of did this as well. Like, he got to a certain level where it was like, right, time to go abroad. Can we do that? Like, we mentioned Terrance Crawford getting a tune-up fight. Obviously, with these guys being on PBC, is a bit easier. But at the same time, can Eddie not try to push this way? He tries to do the cross-brand promotion where he does try to get a Danny Garcia in there and stuff. And I think, for me, that's probably what I think Danny Garcia's that welterweight fight that is good to have on your resume, but also it sells internationally and also in the UK a bit. So wouldn't that even though he was looking at 154,
Mm-hmm.
there's still that potential that for me, if you want to get a fighter to get onto your name and to build up your brand, I think that would probably be an ideal opponent.
Here's where the politics of it comes in. Al Heyman and Eddie Hearn history, so the politics of boxing might come in. So that's why a lot of people initially were people associated with the zone, whether it's McKinson or whether it's, and I mention them specifically because I know that they're zone and it's easier fight to make. On the other bracket, you have obviously welterweights such as Keith Thurman. Adrian Brown, I'd say, is in the middle because I believe he's a free. But obviously, you got the Keith Thurman, Danny Garcia, who I think is also mentioned he wants to move up. You also got the hot coming in, Jerron Boots Ennis as well. And he title eliminator coming up. So that's the title route that he's chasing. That maybe everyone should try avoid him because that's a dangerous man right there. So right now, for me, the three people that Ben should be focused on is either Avenue, which is a fight that's now or never. Go for that European belt or something nice just to say that you got it. Or go for the McKinson or go for Virgil Ortiz. But all the PBC fighters, there's not enough money in it for Al Heyman to want to work with Eddie Hearn. So I'll say that way. A special shout out quickly, Alicia the Bomb Bar, who also defended her super featherweight belt. I know she's looking to unify that Troy and then Maya later on in the year. So we'll pick up on that later on, but that women's division that's really making noise as well on the zone.
I was going to say women's boxing is pretty elite, and it's coming up in a couple of weeks where we do have Serrano Taylor. But with that, we are going to wrap up.
Is that just I know that. Also, go on.
No, I was just going to say we're going to wrap up, but carry on quickly.
Right now, if anybody knows, watch the Ghanaian of Bokum. You know, Ghana's rich history on boxing, so I might be there this weekend on that from the weigh-in. Me checking out, you know, the local Ghanaian boxing scene, you know, each African champs in the footage. So hopefully I can provide that for you guys, see how it goes. But yeah, stay weighed in and all as always.
Yep. And just quickly before we do a wrap up, if you are enjoying the Weigh-In podcast, you know what to do. You want to hit that like button, share and subscribe. Hit us up on all our social media channels. It's the social media channels, the Instagram and Twitter is _the Weigh-In_. With that, we are going to wrap up today's episode. I know it's Easter Monday. I know you got the tropical vibes over there. So we appreciate you as always coming on, Ray. And with that, we are love and peace, guys.